Okay, my boys and girls, this week we are going to be learning about respecting animals. So I want you to take a look at what our essential question is this week. Okay, and there's two places to find that. You can find that on the screen or you can find that on the board. So Alistair, go ahead and read me the essential question this week.
How can learning about animals help you respect them?
Okay, now I want you to think about that for a second. When you're looking at this photograph, what type of animal do we see here? Don't just say bird. What type of animal are we looking at here, Megan?
Owl.
We're looking at an owl. And notice, what is this girl doing that helps protect her from the owl itself? Marlene? Isn't she using a glove? And so, John, why would that help? There was a unit entitled, How Can Learning About Animals Help You Respect Them? And right on the front page, when it talked about respecting animals, immediately it popped into my head that I had seen one of the sponsors of EdExplore was Big Cat Habitat here in Sarasota County. When I turned the page again, I saw that one of the read-alouds that we're going to do this week is respecting the Florida panther. I know they have Florida panthers at Big Cat Habitat, so what a better way to tie that in. As the unit goes on, the vocabulary words endangered, illegal, habitat, wildlife, all of these vocabulary words that we're using throughout the unit are vocabulary words they will be able to take on their trip to Big Cat Habitat. They are reading a section on butterflies. The skill this week is comparing and contrasting. So these butterflies are endangered. They're going to learn about that. And then as you go further into the unit, there's also comparing and contrasting alligators and crocodiles. Everything that we're doing in this unit completely ties into a trip to Big Cat Habitat. The small groups, the little readers called African cats, they happen to have every type of African cat that's mentioned here, leopards, cheetahs, servals, caracals, they have them at Big Cat Habitat. These are animals our students have never heard of, probably would never see without going into this unit, but for them to be able to go on this trip is fascinating. They are very excited. When we did get to Big Cat Habitat, the questions that my children came up with were wonderful. They were blowing the guides away with the words that they were using and the knowledge that they had already had. For them to see these animals up close was great. My boys and girls, turn to the front cover of your little reader for this week, okay? Now I want you to think back to what our essential question is this week, right? Think for a second. To the cover, guys. So what is the essential question this week, Jasmine, please?
How can learning about animals help you respect them?
Help you respect them, right. And I want you to look at the title of our book, okay? So the title, Angel, is?
African cats.
All right, now look at the photograph. Why do I call this a photograph and not a picture? And then as a follow-up project, what they were working on all week was researching their own endangered animal. And as you had seen in some of the footage, they got on World Book, on the internet, and they used actually different resources from the internet to choose manatees. Some people chose some type of African cat, dolphins, specific types of lions that they had learned about, and wrote paragraphs, expository pieces, and illustrations on those projects that we'll be sharing with the school. So to be able to do this unit and to be able to write the grant and to be able to use EdExplore to tie it all together and bring it to fruition was incredible. What would we need to do to not just owls, but any types of birds? So Victor, what are you thinking?
Protect them, like make laws for people to stop hunting the birds.
To stop hunting the birds. Okay, so make laws for people to stop hunting the birds. Good point. Okay, Justyn? At first, when it was presented to me, it did seem like a little overwhelming. There was a lot on the site. What I would suggest is, instead of going to the site first, maybe you need to go to your resources first and go to your curriculum, see what is going to be covered in your science books and your social studies curriculum, what's being covered in especially this new reading program, and even your math. and then try to think for yourself what you'd be looking for on the site. So maybe go to your resources first and then into EdExplorer, and I guarantee you'll find a match. Now what happens if you run across, and I don't want you to answer, I just want you to think, what happens if you're in the woods or something and you run across a nest? Okay, like a bird's nest, and you see these cute little eggs in there, and it looks really enticing for you to pick. I want you to think in your head for a second about what we would do if you did see that. The site works, it's very easy to navigate, and then if there is a point where you are going to write a grant, there's resources in the county, different people you can talk to that are so incredibly helpful with grant writing, so I wouldn't be intimidated by that either. And what I want you to do is have a collaborative conversation about what you learned from the video and how it relates to respecting animals. Not just what type of animals you saw in the video, but what we could or should do. Yeah, it didn't just make it easy, it really made the learning experience that much more beneficial for them, and it's something that they'll never forget.
So hi everybody, welcome to the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary. My name is Miss Ann. I will be your tour guide today. I'm Miss Kay Rosaire, the owner's assistant. I've been volunteering here and being with these fabulous animals in this wonderful place for 9 years. Well, it's a wonderful thing for us to be able to do, to make the kids aware of the plight of these beautiful animals and how many of them are endangered, and make them aware that it is man that's encroaching on their territory and poaching them and that kind of thing. And we like to tell the general public that also. We have over 100 animals here. We have 40 large cats, and I think that for a small place we probably have the best mix of animals that you'll see anywhere. Everybody wants to know where we get our animals. These animals all come from different situations. Sometimes the people that are taking care of them have to move and the state laws change and they can't take the animal with them.
It was fascinating. As soon as we pulled the bus in through the gates, the children were so hard to contain because they were so excited to see the specific animals that they were researching in the classroom all week. We had talked and learned about panthers, we had talked about lemurs, we had talked about bears and how they are, some of the bears are endangered, and the facts that they were shouting out left and right as we pulled in the gates was just fantastic.
So I don't want to poke you with the stick. You're gonna put that through, put it all the way through and feed him.
Yes, it was good. We learned about some special animals and stuff that we didn't know when we first came here. So it was good for us to come here and visit the animals and see all the things that they did, and it's a pleasure for y'all to let us come, for them to let us come here and let us see the animals and stuff. And the guide was good, telling us about the things, and it was really good.
Yeah, you talk about it's a polar. He said it was a polar bear.
Bears are actually white.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty amazing because we got to see the animals and learn about if they're endangered or they're not, and we got to feed them.
2 other bears in there. I think they're in their house right now. That's where they sleep at night and get fed. Absolutely. The kids are so into video games now that to get them out in nature and be able to see these animals is very important. We've had kids come out here and want to know what kind of dogs the goats were, because they never saw a goat before. So it is very important, and the rapport that we have with the animals, I think, is palpable to the children, and they get very excited, and sometimes it's hard to talk over their excitement, but having them see these animals for real instead of just on a nature show or in a book is very important to them. I'm going to show you how to feed them, and after you feed them you have to clean your hands with hand sanitizer, okay?
Priceless, and the interest level. They had so many good questions because they know when we go back to the classroom they're going to be responsible for writing up a report on some of these animals. So they were asking some really great questions about habitat, about life expectancy, and so I'm really proud of them for connecting so well.
We had a good time here. We got to feed the animals. we saw the bears and we saw the family. We saw the sister for the bear, and it was just a good time here today.
Now make it. Hi, Georgie.
It totally ties it all together, and now we're ready to go back to the classroom. We're ready to add what we've learned to where we were doing our KWL chart. So we're going to go back to our column, our Learn column, and we're going to add some facts that we have learned about today, and especially the new animals that they didn't know about. So we're very excited.
We have 2 ligers here. A liger, we're going to come to a liger right now.
There's no other way that we could have made a better connection to real-life examples than doing this through EdExplore. So we're very thankful, and this grant that we wrote was fantastic. We're very thankful to the Education Foundation. We're very thankful to EdExplore and the students. This experience was priceless.
What you doing, guys? You going to come say hello? Come on, Clarence.
Just such a fantastic field trip. Beautiful day. Kids were great. The guides are fantastic. Really good experience.